I did a lot of boxing for my training.
Like, yo, you bitch, your movie's only popped off because The Rock was in it. You better recognize that. You better give huge shout outs to The Rock because he ever did anything with you and you're lucky. Rock probably doesn't even like you. That's like stuff I get from like Sam fans. And I'm like, bro, can you relax? Like, you want to like, you're like too much about Sam. And like, I won't say that like, I like, you know, I love Star Wars. You know what
Harley,
I mean?
just sharing our DMs in public like this.
I'm a fanatic about things. Look at the things I'm a fanatic about. But like being a fanatic about another man is interesting. It's fascinating to me. And the fact that he's got like so many dudes that are like, they brigade for him so hard, even in ways when he's not asking or telling or anything. And sometimes I'm just like, I feel like they need to relax a bit. Like sometimes they're like, I feel like that's a bad, like, I'm not speaking for him or anything, and like I've never mentioned this to him, but like in my head, sometimes I'm kind of like, I feel like his audience are a bit of a bad look for him. Like he's good at what he says and he's funny at what he says, and then they try and do his funniness, but it comes off like fucking weird. And he's got like so many of his fans trying to be funny like him. And it's like,
it's not landing.
Imagine you invited a dude to a party and he came to the party, but then like he came with like 40 dudes that were like kind of also like him, wanting to be like him, but really bad versions of him. And they were doing his thing. And you're like, well, I don't know. I want you, but I don't want all these guys. Sometimes I worry about those guys, you know?
Sure.
But then again,
what were some of the messages you were getting? Like, what were they mad at you for?
Well, I thought it was funny that like I would get like after the match, people like, Sam won that match for you. Why didn't you suck his dick in the ring, you fucking Jew? Like I got, and I was like,
there's a lot of directions.
I didn't thank either. I didn't thank my other coach. Did you say? Know, I will suck his dick, and then we'll see. Then we'll see how you feel.
You'll be jealous. It's not you.
Yeah,
but like they were just like,
dick.
It was just funny. Like I don't know. They just get amped up. They're just like amped up, and you know, I mean. I put a video up with him and it got like crazy views on my channel compared to the previous videos. So I know like for Sam, that's a good thing. Like, you know, his audience for him is a good thing. I was just like, can't they be chill about it? I'm like, imagine like when like, instead of saying like, you know, he's like a mass shooter, when people are like, yo, like, cause sometimes people are like, who's Sam? And they're like, he's a mass shooter. What if they're like, yo, who's Sam? And someone was like, someone who gave me a chance at life. Like, why not do his bit thing, but positive? Why spin it like he's like, you know, I feel like he doesn't need any more bad press. And it's usually his own fans that like feed into the bad press of it all. That's
no
like,
joke.
Why don't you
just
spin it nicer?
Shooter thing happened. I Googled it and I found Sam Hyde.
Yeah.
Like they always do that. Every mass shooting.
But no, this one was far more deep, actually, which I just heard today, which was, I thought, extremely fucked up. And yeah, and it's made, I don't know how, I didn't speak to him about it, and I don't even like, it's like just a weird thing, but that shooter mentioned him. The shooter has like, the shooter has like a huge,
like a manifesto or something?
Yes, a 180 page one, and he said, "This is me," and it had 2 pictures of him. So like it was like a direct reference, and I don't know.
So he tried to do the meme in his manifesto.
He did it.
Oh no.
Oh, really? That's fucked up. Yeah. See, I think that's like a super really fucked up thing.
Because the biggest fear isn't losing, right? It's embarrassing.
It's being seen with your shirt off. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that was a big
thing, right? Same thing.
That was a big deal to Aaron and I, actually, the shirt on thing.
Dude, unironically, that would be one of my main things. I'd be like, well, yeah, I'd probably get my ass beat, but I'm gonna get my ass beat fat.
Like, yeah, exactly. We do the first PKA does the first ever shirts and skins match.
Why did I have to be skins?
We flipped the coin.
This is just bullshit.
This is trash. Kyle's triple XL Carhartt shirt for no reason.
Yeah, no, Harley, you were anything but embarrassing. Like you
exactly.
Yeah, you did great, man.
Great.
Thank you. I was worried.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, you represented yourself really well from beginning to end. There was nothing about what. Again, my fear would be embarrassment. It's like because I'm a fan of combat sports. I've seen so many walkouts. It's important to me as a fan that you don't stumble on the way out or anything.
Oh my god!
Also,
everyone's fear,
or that you don't look scared. Like they start that camera back like an inch out of their dressing room. You got to get your game face on before you even open the fucking door.
You got to be mean mugging ready.
There's a million people looking at you through that fucking lens, like weighing and measuring you, and their fandom is dependent upon like how hard they think you look. Maybe I know when I see somebody come out and they look like a bitch, I'm like, I'm the other guy. That guy looks scared. Like he looks so scared. They're like, well, it's little Mikey's first time ever.
Have you heard the stories of GSP?
Remind me.
So GSP, George St. Pierre, for people who don't know, was one of the greatest UFC fighters ever. He fought at 170. And he'd be in the back room. I wish I could do his French Canadian accent.
Oh, it's so good.
He's like, I don't know why I do this. It's so scary. It's dangerous. I really don't even want to fight right now. I'm not mad at him at all. He's fine. Could we just agree not to? It's like, dude, you are the baddest motherfucker at 170 who has ever walked this planet. And, you know, he's scared. And he's got a formidable opponent. He was champion, it seemed like, for most of his career. So everyone he fought was very good.
It's scary. It's so scary. I got some UPS package delivered earlier, and they're kind of expensive. It's gym equipment, and but I didn't want to like take them in, so I'm leaving them on my step. And but I heard something outside, and my head. I was like napping on the couch like 3 hours before the show, and I heard some rustling outside. In my head, in my half dream state, there were porch bandits rifling through my cup, and I got up with the intention of fighting. And I like ran to the door and like whipped it up, and I'm like, it's time to fight for my gear. It's the wind, of course. but I'm in that doorway, like
you're all trend up. You're just
I'd already like ripped my clothing off, there was nobody there, but I was so scared. I can't imagine like the buildup would be the worst part to me, because I think I'd get a fucking ulcer. Like when something is like gonna happen now, I can maybe compartmentalize that a little bit. Not great. I have panic attacks, but when something is months away, like when I had that trial and all that legal shit like looming, when it's looming, it is you can't get rid of it. It's like being wet and not being able to get dry. It's just always there on you. It's just always like in the back of your mind, a little cold, wet, damp bullshit that you can't really wrap your hands around.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a fight coming up, I think, would feel to me. And like your point of like, you're in the gym working out, and you think like he is too. I would be so obsessive if I had an opponent. I would be so likely to be like, we're gonna have to go to 2-a-days. Like there's no way. And I feel like by the end we'd be like, he might be doing 2-a-days. He could be. There's no way he's doing 3.
Can we do this? Can we make it so that my opponent doesn't know he's my opponent until the day before the fight?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I want.
God. I would like it more if it was a secret, like who your opponent was. That would be interesting.
You're talking about stress. That would be more stressful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you like walk out and you're like, now you're fighting the Bradley Martin twins.
Yeah.
You guys should box.
I'm calling out Finster right now.
I will.
I'm not really calling.
Actually, that'd be too embarrassing. What if he's just like lightning hands? Like it's just
he was short. Oh no, he's not short. I need a shorter guy.
Let's be real. Let's put together the card. We should do that.
Who's that girl with Tourette's?
The PKA card. Kyle wouldn't get in the ring with anyone. Kyle wouldn't get in the ring with anyone. No one.
Well, he tried to
together. If you put together a PKA card and like Boogie and Wings boxed on it on the undercard, and like Kyle was main event, like come on, what do you mean?
I mean, Boogie and Wings, that would be a good match. Everyone that would take over all of social media. Everyone would be chatting about that. That would be memeable forever.
Yes,
I take Wings in that matchup for sure. I think Wings is Kyle's age, so he's like 35, 36. I think Boogie's like in his mid-late 40s. And also Boogie's heavier. So I think this would be Wings to lose if they matched up.
I hear you, and that's not a bad thought process. I almost think it's courage based. Like, which one is willing to?
Who complains also in the match and wants to just escape it? And is just
I was
like,
watching Harley fight, and he kept his eyes open the whole fight. Like you look like a fighter in there.
You know, you're right for pointing that out, because I hate pointing things out in boxing because I don't know shit about boxing. But that took a long time for me to do what you're saying. That was a big issue. And at the very beginning, after I punched Aaron once or twice, I fainted. And he closed his eyes and turned his head, and instantly I was like,
as you do.
Yeah. I was like, he's like a month and a half or 2 months behind me in training.
Yeah.
Because like 2 months ago, that's how close we were. 2 months ago, I did that. And like my coach would do that, and like then he'd slap me in the face.
Yeah.
Like we would do that. He would like go to do that, and I would do that, you know, even like when I came back from training with Sam, like I would do this, you flinch. And it's so crazy you pointed out, because I don't know if you noticed, nobody used feints the entire time at the Creator Clash except me. No one used them. I was like shocked, because I thought like if you go home and you think about boxing, you're like, well, I can punch my left hand. Yeah,
while you tell this story, a feint for the listeners is when you kind of like, you know, half punch, like pretend you're going to punch, and it gives you a vibe as to what the reaction is going to be, right? So if I were to really throw a jab, you know, he's going to go like that, but I can go like that and get a tell. Be like, aha, this is his reaction to my feint. Now I know what to actually do if I throw a real one.
And that's kind of like half of boxing. Well, for only me at my level, like what I've done, which is nothing at all. But like I was like, I could either punch with my left, I could punch with my right, or I can pretend to punch with either of those. You really don't have anything else. So I was like, you know, I didn't expect people to do like, you know, side steps or like things like that. People went in and people punched, and people held their fists up and they tried to pick their punches, but no one really like faked it. No one really did the feint moves. And I was like, so surprised as every match went on, you know? And then I think maybe they know, because like when I feinted on Aaron, I watched the fight back. He started to feint back at me, which I was like, oh, so maybe he wasn't thinking about it before, you know?
You're training him.
Yeah, it was happening.
Well,
a couple times. I didn't step up to him a couple times. I thought his arms were down. Like his arms were like here. And I was at a distance where I was like, oh, I could reach and punch you in the face right now. And I'm like, waited for his hands to go up. And then we went at it again. And you know what? That could have all backfired, because Aaron, he doesn't punch. Like he's not like, his punches aren't a lost cause. You know, like I got hit on the side of the head, and I was like, oh, if that got me like across the nose, like I broke my nose, and then tomorrow sucks. Because why? Because why?
Right. Yeah, he's dangerous.
They did a YouTube boxing thing.
You're dangerous, Harley. You look like a fighter.